Well, one federal court in Washington, D.C. holds a whole lot of power when it comes to how federal regulations impact your life. Now, Republicans say President Obama is playing politics, trying to pack the court and tilt the balance. Or is he just doing his job? A fair and balanced debate on that next. When it comes to interpreting just how all those regulations apply to your life, there is one federal court that plays a key role in making those decisions. It's called the D.C. Circuit, just one step below the Supreme Court. And this week, President Obama named 3 nominees to take up empty seats on that bench. Republicans say he's attempting to pack the court and tip the balance to the left, but Democrats say the court's understaffed. Here now for a fair and balanced debate, Carrie Severino, Chief Counsel for the Judicial Crisis Network, and Elizabeth Wydra, Chief Counsel for the Constitutional Accountability Center. Great to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Great to be here.
All right, Carrie, there are empty seats there. Isn't it the president's job to fill them?
Yes, and it's the Senate's job to make sure that he's filling them properly. That's why the Constitution gives them this check and balance. When the president was in the Senate, he certainly thought they should exercise that power. He voted against a lot of judges. He even filibustered judges. He was the first president to ever filibuster a Supreme Court justice, Justice Alito. So now, of course, when the shoe's in the other foot, he thinks they should move them through as fast as possible. But we still need to give the senators a chance to look at this. And there are still a lot of judicial vacancies that are real emergencies. The D.C. Circuit, while there are theoretically vacancies there, is certainly not at the height of those. They have a much lower caseload than most other circuits.
And Elizabeth, that's what we're hearing from a lot of GOP senators. They say that this is a lower caseload and that there were votes in the past to take away some of the seats there on the court. Do they really need these new 3 folks?
Well, certainly the Chief Justice of the United States thinks they do. He and the Judicial Conference just put out a report last month saying that it is imperative that all of these seats on the court be filled. And it's so laughable that there are these claims of court packing when all that President Obama is doing is fulfilling his constitutional duty to nominate judges to these vacant seats that need to be filled for the good of the American people. As you said, the D.C. Circuit is a very important court in terms of the complex cases that it hears about regulations that affect the lives of everyday Americans. And he needs to fill those vacancies. And frankly, the Republicans, when Bush was president, pushed very aggressively to fill those seats. And now all of a sudden, oh, only 8 of the 11 seats need to be filled. 8 is enough. Well, they didn't feel that way when Bush was president, and it's important that Obama fill the seats now. The only thing that has changed since then is that the American people have twice elected President Obama, but the Constitution gives him the duty to fill those seats, and that's all that he's trying to do, just do his job.
And Carrie, doesn't he get some deference? I mean, as we hear on the Hill, I mean, elections have consequences. He was elected president. These seats are empty. Doesn't he get the chance to fill them?
Sure, it is his job to fill seats. He hasn't been doing that overall. He has like 70% of the open vacant seats that have still no nominee in them. 75% of the ones that are considered judicial emergencies, which the D.C. Circuit is not among, are empty. But the American people only elected him with 51% of the vote. That doesn't mean he gets to put his ideological extreme picks on the bench every time. He needs to be looking for moderate appointees, and that's why it's important to be able to have the Senate approval and not just say the senators need to be pushing these through as fast as the president can nominate them. He should be focusing on the judicial vacancies that are real emergencies, not the D.C. Circuit, where everyone agrees this isn't the top priority in terms of relieving the workload of the courts.
So, Elizabeth, is some of this playing politics? Is it a little bit of a PR move when the president does pick, for the court that is very popular? People know the import of this court, but it's not the one that seems to be most desperately in need of judges.
Look, first of all, the president has the duty to fill all vacant seats, and part of the reason he can't fill some of these other vacancies is because the GOP senators in those states refuse to play along and give him names. There has been this unprecedented campaign of obstruction by the GOP in the Senate, and it may be a clever little strategy that has worked for a large part, but I don't think that the American people who rely on access to free and fair courts of justice find it very amusing. And the president is doing what he can to fill the seats. There are judicial emergencies all over the country, and I know that he is committed to filling those seats as well as the seats that he has the duty to fill on the D.C. Circuit with non-ideological judges who will just follow the law. And as we saw with Judge Srinivasan, who was just confirmed unanimously in the Senate, those are the kinds of people he's putting up.
It can happen, but we're almost out of time, so I just want to quickly ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ugly do you think this gets in the Senate, where they're threatening to change the rules altogether if these don't get through? Carrie? 10 being the worst.
It's going to be pretty ugly. I think it's going to be, we'll give it an 8.5. There's still room for improvement, but Senator Reid's been both sides of this issue himself, so it's already pretty
Elizabeth,
bad.
1 to 10.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm an optimist. I'll say 7, and everyone will get back to deciding that they need to do their jobs.
All right, Elizabeth and Carrie, thank you both very much. We'll see how it plays out.
Thank you.